Is it a lost cause? I guess we'll get into it and see. I have cleaned down to the bare copper, and you can see that the corrosion was fairly widespread, really widespread. Fortunately, it didn't go too deep. Typical in this area where these two 0-ohm jumpers are, which I've replaced, the alkaline builds up underneath these two jumpers and severs 5 or 6 traces that are underneath these jumpers. So I've rebuilt these. You can see I've got some gray jumper wire and some blue jumper wire. I do that just to make it easier for me to see where things are going. And I have included sockets everywhere necessary. I'm going to stuff those right now. There was some issues over here in the switch matrix area that I've repaired also. The only chip that I did not socket is this DS1232. I don't like using 8-pin sockets. So there you go. Let's get it to the bench. That was the Starship Troopers CPU board. I've just abated all the alkaline corrosion, and from the last segment that I connected to this segment, I did find one more trace that was not connected, and it was address line 4 was not making it out to a number of chips. Caused some interesting results, but it looks like we've got them all taken care of right now. And I showed you those blinking LEDs on my test device at the start to show you that those circuits do work. These 4 LEDs, 1, 2, 3, 4, on this test device are solenoid 17, 18, 19, and 20, and those are the stepper motor circuits for Starship Troopers. You won't be able to see those fire when I do the test. That is just the way it is with Starship Troopers and any of them, any game that uses stepper motors, actually. Let's test the switches first. My Pinatech tester. That was all of column 1 and all of row 1. Good to go. Let's test the coils, and I will cycle them. Nine. And that's 16. And now we're into the stepper motors 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you'll see the LEDs pick up with coil 21, which is actually not used in Starship Troopers. But I like the way that Stern Sega decided to pulse all the coils, even if they're not used. So those are good to go. Let's test the lamps, and I'll test them all at the same time. Looking good. I made that device. Flashers utilizes the same circuits as the coils. Not a surprise that those are working. Now the truly fun stuff. Whoops. Here we go. I hate that. Interesting though, if you want to hook up a real knocker on Starship Troopers, just hook it up to one of those coils that was just blinking.
Do you want to know more, soldier? You don't do your job, I'll shoot you. Come on, you weak!
Starship Troopers, I owned one, and I think it's an underrated game. It was a lot of fun, and I kind of miss mine. I don't even know who I sold that to, but it's got the small flipper on there, and point scoring is doubled, I think, if you shoot a target with the small flipper. So good game. And this MPU board This is about a $500 board if you can buy one right now. So it made it worth it to spend the extra time and of course, investment in abating the alkaline corrosion, as long as it didn't go so deep that the number of traces to reconstruct got to be too many. Also installed NVRAM, so no more batteries ever on this board. Thank you for your patience. I'm glad to return this one to service.